Debüt auf der European Tour. Herzlich willkommen, wir drücken ihm die Daumen, Lukas Wenig! Der Gegner von Lukas kommt aus England, 28 Jahre alt. Der stand 2016 im Viertelfinale des Grand Slam of Darts. Der war im Achtelfinale der WM. Er war einer der 9 Contender in dieser Premier League-Saison. Hollywood Chris Dobey!
German Darts Open, where we have another home nation qualifier, Lukas Wenig, in action against Hollywood Chris Dobey, who has been one of the stars of the year because of his performance in the Premier League, one of the contenders, and a contender to win PDC titles, I'm sure, in years to come, perhaps even this year. A man that you know plenty about, Paul Nicholson, and I believe that Chris is moving house this weekend, so he's decided to qualify for this tournament and leave all the work to his partner.
I know all about that, because when I moved house, my other half decided to be ill and didn't do anything about it.
Decided to be ill? Is this some kind of accusation that you're levelling?
Absolutely. It's happened twice now. But yeah, well done, Chris. Outsourcing the moving process and making darts the priority. Nothing wrong with that. But walking out the local hero by Mark Knopfler, like he did when he was at Newcastle back in early February. What a night that was for Chris and his family. And he's up against a bit of a unit here.
To throw first. Game on.
Yeah, not much known about Lukas Wenig. He has played on the Challenge Tour this year. He's 24 years of age and he is into powerlifting. That's one of his hobbies, where you lift Phil Taylor over your head. But we've just had one strong man, haven't we? Dennis Nielsen on the stage, and now we've got another. There are a few, aren't there, now in darts that are more muscular than perhaps we are accustomed to on the hockey.
I think we're starting to see more protein shake type players. Josh Payne, that is. Kevin Price.
Aaron Monk.
Aaron Monk, yep. But this fella's got some forearms.
140.
He's got some ability as well. Throws the same flights as Dragutin Horvat. And I think this early display of scoring from Lukas is good for Chris Dobey, because it means that he's going to have to switch on.
Well, the local hero walk-on song by Dobey, but the local hero this evening will be Gabriel Clements. He's playing later on against Raymond van Barneveld.
That is going to be fun. Dobey has some making up to do after last week losing to Rastovitz in round 1. He didn't play his best at all. He only averaged 85 in that match. But he started this match so much better. Good darts from Wenig. Forces Dobey to take the 72. Doesn't like the lie. Wants to leave and he's busted.
Well, if he didn't like the lie, why did he not go elsewhere?
Could have gone 16 for double 18. He's going to rue that, I feel. Double 6.
Does he like that lie?
I don't think he does, because there's a lot of barrel there in the way.
18.
He pierced his lips as he approached the hockey, but he couldn't pierce the double bed. And now Dobey has take 2.
Surely he's going to 12.
Well, he's found a way past that. It looked
He knows best.
like it could have happened again, but by hook or by crook, Chris Dobey has got the first leg on the board.
I'll tell you what, that is stubbornness and conviction at its best. He wanted to leave double 16 so badly that he was willing to take the risk again, and he backed himself. That's what I like about that. He could have showed weakness and said, you know, I'll go the 12 this time, or I'll go the 16. No, I know what I'm doing.
He was very impressive in qualifying, both wins. He posted averages of over 100, 6-1 against Bradley Brooks, but he was made to work against Nathan Rafferty. That went down to a last leg decider.
Yeah, he won't be the last one to be worked hard by Nathan Rafferty. He's a proper talent. Only 2 games to get here for Chris. It was 4 for Lucas. Came through Home Nation qualifier last night. And won 6-0 in his first game against Kevin Grieber. Lucas Seckinger, 6-5. Then Fabian Hertz, who we know some stuff about. And then he beat Kevin Knopf, who we saw in Leverkusen, 6-3. His best average in qualifying was 89, which is steady. He's probably going to have to play better than that if he wants to beat Chris tonight.
Yeah, he's one of 6 German players in the tournament. Of course, Max Hopp, a seeded player, begins his title defence tomorrow. I mentioned Clements against Barneveld later this evening. We saw the departure of Carsten Koch this afternoon, but we have Kevin Munch in the last match of the night against Steve Lennon, the man who famously beat Adrian Lewis at the World Championship a couple of years ago.
93.
And Thomas Kohnlein taking on Dimitri Vandenberg.
68 for when Chris returns. And this game is settling down now, but here comes Wenig. That's decent enough pressure.
Chris requires 68.
16 for double. Yep, that's a good guide, that.
Really is.
36.
Wenig gets a chance.
Lucas requires 76.
He's going to stay there for double 18. Same height. He's doing the Rob Cross retreat. Oh, very good indeed. A little flex of that, what looks like a 52-inch chest.
Well, certainly trading blows with Chris Dobey in the early exchanges in this match. Has had chances.
If they were exchanging blows, I think I know where my money would be. No offence, Chris. But Chris will just be very happy that he's throwing his own darts and wearing his own stuff. Because yesterday, unbelievably, he lost his luggage again. The amount of times that Chris Dobey has had his luggage lost coming into Europe for darts is inordinate. There's nothing worse than going to a big tournament and using someone else's darts and wearing someone else's trousers and shoes. It's not a nice situation. It, of course, happened to him when he made his European Championship debut when he went to Hasselt. It got lost on the way there, and his luggage got lost on the way back.
Yeah, this time around he managed to retrieve it. He was sent on the following flights. So the panic was over, but he might have reason to panic in this match.
No reason to panic when he can pick out the 180 from that spot. Unless Lucas, of course, takes the 161.
Not going to happen. So Chris Dobey, thanks to that supremely timed maximum, will have 3 clear darts, should he require them. Does require them. Double 10.
30.
I'll not be happy with those.
101.
I'll be thankful that Lucas only got 60 in the last visit.
Superb darts. Double 16. Superb finish. And maybe Dobey does have reason to panic.
Full flag, Lucas.
Wenig
Throw first.
is looking like a very, very tough competitor.
I think we're watching a German player who was very adept to playing on stage. Doesn't look nervous at all. Looks very comfortable. And he's having a blast.
Enjoying himself. Mentioned he's appeared on the Challenge Tour a handful of times this year. His best run is to the last 16.
Are we uncovering another German talent?
Well, the crowd already know the name. Is it one that we will need to remember?
Well, when the draw came out, Chris Dobey will have said to himself, that's a draw I would have taken. There could have been worse draws. Just look at who RVB got. He got Clemens. Bunting got Hendo. There's some nightmare draws in there. Desvan against Kyle Anderson, which is next. Fantastic game. Well, Wenig is proving to be a bit of a handful.
We mentioned it earlier. If you're going to get drawn against one of the home nation qualifiers, on paper, it should be an easier assignment than it would have been 12 months ago, because Max Hopp's now in the seeds.
Correct.
We've got Schindler and Clemens playing in the Tour card holders qualifier when they're held in before the Pro Tour events. So you've got effectively amateur players battling it out for the host nation qualifiers. Yeah.
We're starting to see how good the amateur players are.
Oh yeah, there's nothing amateur about this performance, is there?
It's looking very likely that the German is going to be 3-1 ahead.
41, Lucas, you require.
And after
40.
Chris Dobey took at that 72 at the second time of asking, I wouldn't have bet on that. He's getting better. Double 10.
Is there a... I'm just going to say, is there a possibility that he might have thought about busting his score there?
Yeah, I think lack of experience there. And he's going to be under pressure now. Brilliant darts from Chris Dobey. And Lucas really should have bust and left himself back on tops here.
Well, if he hits, it matters not. But now, he needs to tidy up. He knows this is big.
Well. He's halfway there to a big upset. He would have been a massive outsider going into this game. Chris Dobey has work to do. He's got to fight here. He's got to stay focused and composed and hope that Lucas Wenig starts to stutter. He's scoring very well.
Well, he's the best player at the moment.
The winner of this one gets Rob Cross.
Dobey digging deep.
100.
Or needing to, at least. It's a big old pair of lenses he's got, isn't it, Lucas? Almost the
96.
Dennis Taylor of darts.
I dare you to go and tell him that. It's bigger than me. I'm not going to tell him anything.
Like, I remember when Simon Whitlock first started wearing glasses, and he actually said that
100.
he had to change them because he wasn't quite sure whether he was looking through them or over them. And I guess that was why Dennis Taylor in snooker wore such big glasses.
Yeah, he wore them upside down, didn't he? He had special ones made.
98.
But his throw, Lucas Wenig, really reminds me of Colin Monk. The arm is very linear, and he brings the dart back with a horizontal hand and plants it forward. It's very Colin Monk-like for me. And it's got the same lie as well, very flat. He's looking to land them on top.
If you can find a treble here, that's unfortunate, but he can put some real pressure on. And he has forced one through.
This is on the Dobey throw. This is a big pressure moment for Chris Dobey.
Well, Wenig's taken out 101.
96.
So 112 is not beyond the realms. And Lucas could end up with a 3-leg lead here.
Oh, just shy.
It's unlucky, isn't it?
I was wondering whether you could see enough of that.
62.
Big shot, this. Great dart. Double 16. Fantastic from Dobey. Asked the question, answered it right there with two perfectly thrown arrows. And now he can mount an assault on the Wenig throw.
6 leg Lucas is reverse.
Chris is averaging around the 90 mark, and he's never happy with that. He wants to be around that 100 all the time. He wants to have the kind of performance that we saw from Ted Evans in game 1 this evening.
He might not be allowed to produce such a performance because his opponent is really serving it up. Super Lucas, the crowd chants.
Still trying to get over the size of his forearms. Looks like Popeye.
Well, you might get the chance to see them again. I have to say that previous leg from Dobey was one that smacked of maturity. The fact that he hasn't panicked, he hasn't felt flustered with what this relatively unknown opponent has thrown at him.
You know what to say, Chris. Better the devil he knows sometimes. And we know next to nothing about Lucas Wenig before tonight. Well, I think we know a little bit more now. There's the first start he's looking for. That is a fantastic third dart. 6 darts and 145 though. Might take it in 3. What he's missing, he's not missing by much.
76.
Boy, does there need to be some pressure on the throw now. He needs to tell him he's on his shoulder.
95.
That's okay, I like that. Because 108 is very doable.
Choices here. He was looking for treble 19, but now he might only get a dart at the bullseye. But he's got better than that. Done this a couple of times and it's paid off.
Now this is the chance that Dobey needed. 4 19s for double 16. You think the game will change if he hits this?
Well, he's made it more difficult for himself by that dart being so close, but he's tried to open. You can just see how that flicked off the flight and was diverted from its path.
Yeah. He needed to do the Rob Cross dart from last night on the exact same shot. Now, how much composure has he got for double 4? Not enough.
22.
Dobey gets another poke at it.
52.
1 big 20. 1 double 16, and it's an equaliser.
20.
Well, who's got the game? Who's got the guts?
Game ain't over yet. This is the middle part of the game, but these are crucial. That's a big shot. He is 4-2 ahead. This is a very big 4 weeks for Chris Dobey. He'd be man enough to say that it was a failed exploit in Munich last week after losing to Rastovitz. Even though Michael Rastovitz played very, very handily. But in the next couple of weeks, including this one, he has a great opportunity to put himself in the frame for the match play.
Yeah, and Chris Dobey's a man who's missed out by minuscule margins for major tournaments more often than most.
Yeah, I said last week that he's almost inherited the nickname Bubble because he's always around the bubble when it comes to selection for the match play.
When he does get to them, he tends to put in decent displays. Had a fabulous run at the World Championship. Reached the last 16.
83.
Oh, he's going to be annoyed with that dart. Going for the 18s from 268, sorry. Maybe praying there's no big treble here. Should have gone to 17s there. The 60 was blocked. But Chris Dobey would be happy that he didn't.
Yeah, Dobey really needs this leg in the ledger.
90.
Good last dart.
Sensible. He knew that if he got the 25, he left something very doable. Can he tactically beat Lucas Wenig tonight?
59. 95.
I don't think he would have expected to have been playing the role of chaser in this match, but that's where he's found himself now. Can he find a way around that dart? To the bull.
Ooh, so close. That just needed probably a tenth of a second less in the air.
He's going to have another opportunity here. He's going to get 2 darts at the outer ring.
These are the misses you can't afford. Double 8 is needed. Angle created. And too many times in that bottom left corner, he's just missing on the wire.
But not just then, in that leg, he blocked the ball by being so close to it and blocked the double 8 by being so close to it. And it's allowed Wenig a chance to lead 5-2. That chance has gone for now.
Well, if Dobey is watching Wenig, he can evidently see that he's starting to shake. Time to swallow him up. This has got to be in. What a marker. Oh, he didn't even need it. It's like throwing a basket and doing it backwards. I didn't need the backboard. Look at him, talking to himself, telling himself off. He is visually and internally fighting.
It's interesting to see his reaction there to that dart, because it makes me think that he did aim next to the marker and actually let it fly a little bit.
I was saying last week, because he's using new stems and new coloured flights, that Chris is the kind of guy that doesn't change anything at all in his equipment, and any change is a big, big deal. So maybe just the visual effect of his flights is just playing with his concentration a bit, and it's taken him a bit of time to get used to the new colours. He's had the same colour flights ever since he turned professional, with the St George Cross on them. And now that he's switched to a grey and black flight, it may just play with the visuals a bit more. He's in this match, and Wenig is starting to stutter.
Yeah, Dobey is not playing to the standard that we know he is capable of. However,
100.
a lot of the misses have been by very, very small fractions, and they've gone on to cause him problems, certainly on doubles, by blocking the targets.
Well, there are some tactical question marks from the Lucas Wenig game. Not really sure why he went to 19s there.
If Dobey can't find a treble, Wenig will have a better chance to hang on to his throw in this leg. Should he do that, Dobey has to win the last 3.
That was a flat pull, that one. But what a response.
Great correction. And Chris Dobey pulls something out of the bag here. Double 7.
I think that was a very safe shot at double 7.
Can't afford to play safe in this game.
Double 5. And that one crept over the bar. Oh, that was close. Chris Dobey's heart was in his mouth.
He'll be attacking it this time.
Oh, find an angle.
Done it again, hasn't he?
Yeah, too close. This is a wonder dart if it goes in. Oh, look at that! That one's around the wall and in the corner. I don't care if he's not German, you've got to bow to that brilliance.
Silence the boos, Chris Dobey, as he found a way through the barricades. And with that dart, as you said, as you predicted, Paul, a wonder dart that it was, Dobey now has control of the match. It's in his hands.
Well, Chris is doing enough right now to trouble Wenig.
41.
He's not playing his best stuff. He's doing enough, and he's got the throwback. And if you'd have offered that to Chris a couple of legs ago, he would have snatched your hand off.
140.
He's got the experience of doing this kind of stuff on this stage. Wenig doesn't have that. So how will he react? All of the adrenaline has dissipated from the body, and now he's got to adjust to that as well.
81.
Would be good to see more of Lucas Wenig, even if we don't see more of him this weekend.
I'd pay to see him in an arm wrestling contest with Gezi Price.
140.
This is a very, very edgy game, but in leg 9, which we often say is the most important leg of a tight match, Chris Dobey has responded in a very good way. Game after this is going to be Jeffrey Desvaughn against Kyle Anderson. Do not miss that. And Wenig can't afford to miss this 60. He doesn't. And from nowhere, he's left to finish.
Just when you thought he was as good as over, Wenig announces himself back on the scene. But Dobey does the job and now moves one away.
That's impressive. Wenig gets the crowd off their seats, gets them chanting. And that perfect combination from Dobey allows him to keep them quiet. He's one leg away from the next round in a game with the 2018 World Champ Rob Cross.
Yeah, and it's the first time he's had the lead since the very first leg of the match. Just goes to show what kind of pressure he has been put under by the underdog.
It's an addictive thing, pressure. It really is. You kind of dig it when you're in front, but when you're behind, it's not a very nice feeling.
Yes, he will be
100.
feeling a little bit more free now.
He's got his little boy's name on his collar there, little Cole.
58.
What a cute young lad he is. Chip off the old block. Wouldn't surprise me if young Cole becomes a third generation Dobey, because we've had Gordon and Arthur. That's the dad and uncle of Chris Dobey. He's taken the family name a little bit further. I wonder if Cole will play on the development tour in about 15 years. Comes from that hotbed of Northumberland darts, of course, Bedlington.
Or Bedlington.
100.
And Dobey might have realised, we mentioned at the start of the match, that he had got this house move. Maybe that was part of the pressure as well. He thought he might have to be going home and lugging boxes around. Instead, he's lobbing darts into treble 20.
What a time to stick that 180 in. He could get rid of this match in 3 more darts, and he would love that.
91.
Well, 106 to finish the job. He's had to fight and scrap, but he has got a match dart, and that is all he needed. 180 followed by 106, and he needed to dig deep for that win, did Chris Dobey, but he got it in the end. We hope to see more of Lucas Wenig on the European Tour stage. The crowd certainly enjoyed his performance, but it's Dobey who moves through to take on Rob Cross tomorrow, beating Lucas Wenig by 6 legs to 4.
Chris Dobey setzt sich durch, zieht in Runde 2 ein. Aber das war ein bemerkenswerter Auftritt von Lucas Wenig. Applaus für Lucas. Der wird mit Sicherheit hier Blut geleckt haben. Chris, that was tough work today, huh? With the problems on the doubles.
Yeah, doubles were terrible, but fair play. Lucas played fantastic. He looked a bit nervous before the game, but as soon as the crowd got behind him, he was fantastic and probably should have won the game early doors. But now it happens, and he'll learn from that and come back stronger.
Do you remember your first match on a big stage?
Yeah, I do. Well, my first European, I lost to Wes Newton, and it's not a very good memory, but I've come back here and I've won a game on the European stage after last week's performance. I was here to put it right. Doubles weren't great, but I got the win, and that's all that mattered.
How is the form in general right now?
I'm playing well on the floor, and that makes a change because I normally play my game on the stage. And as long as my floor game's there, I'm happy, and keep winning on a big stage, push closer to match play, and just hopefully just keep performing and getting the wins. That's all that matters. Averages doesn't count. It's the win that matters.
See you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Chris Dobey. Sagt, Averages sind mir egal.